Hello students, next chapter is linear equations with regular singular points. Introduction. Consider linear equations with variable coefficients a0 of x y raised to n plus a1 of x y raised to n minus 1 plus and so on plus an of x y equal to 0 give as equation number 1, where a0 of x, a1 of x and so on an of x are analytic at some point x0. A point x0 such that a0 at x0 equal to 0 is called a singular point of the equation 1. Means suppose तुमच्याकडे इक्वेशन ह्या फॉर्ममध्ये असेल ज्याचे कोइफिशियंट व्हेरिएबल असेल आणि असा एखादा पॉईंट तुम्हाला सापडला जे आपण a0 ऑफ x ह्या फंक्शनमध्ये तो पॉईंट पुट केल्यानंतर एक्सच्या जागेवर x0 पुट केला आपण तर आपल्याला ते फंक्शन इक्वल टू 0 भेटत असेल तर आपण x0 ह्या पॉईंटला काय म्हणणार सिंगुलर point. Now x0 is a regular singular point for 1 if the equation can be written in the form x minus x0 raised to n y raised to n plus b1 of x minus x0 raised to n minus 1 y raised to n minus 1 plus and so on plus bn of x y equal to 0 give as equation number 2. Near x0 where the function b1 and so on bn are analytic at x0, if the function b1 and so on bn can be written in the form bk of x equal to x minus x0 raised to k bk of x k running from 1 to and so on n, where beta 1 and so on beta n, here nothing but the beta k of x are analytic at x0, we see that equation 2 becomes y raised to n plus beta 1 of x y raised to n minus 1 plus and so on plus beta n of x y equal to 0 upon dividing out x minus x0 raised to n. Thus equation 2 is a generalization of the equation with analytic coefficient. An equation of the form c0 of x into x minus x0 raised to n y raised to n plus c1 of x minus x0 raised to n minus 1 y raised to n minus 1 plus and so on plus cn of x into y equal to 0 has a regular singular point at x0 if c0, c1 and so on cn are analytic at x0 and c0 at x0 is not equal to 0. थोडक्यात आपल्याला हेच लक्षात ठेवायचं आहे, x0ला आपण सिंग्युलर पॉईंट कधी म्हणणार जेव्हा आपण a0 ऑफ एक्सच्या तिथं एक्सच्या ऐवजी x0 पुट केल्यावरती आपल्याला 0 भेटलं तेव्हा आपण x0ला म्हणणार सिंग्युलर पॉईंट. आणि x0ला रेग्युलर सिंग्युलर पॉईंट कधी म्हणायचं जेव्हा तुम्ही इक्वेशन ह्या फॉर्ममध्ये राईट करू शकला x मायनस x0 रेस टू n नाही तर इथं काय पाहिजे रेस टू n मायनस 1 पाहिजे ते फंक्शन आणि इथं रेस टू 0 पाहिजे. ही कंडिशन त्यांनी सॅटिस्फाय करायला पाहिजे तेव्हाच आपण x0ला काय म्हणणार रेग्युलर सिंग्युलर पॉईंट. फॉर एक्झाम्पल here consider x square y double dash minus y dash minus 3 by 4 into y equal to 0. आता आपल्याला काय करायचं आहे सिंग्युलर पॉईंट आधी फाइंड आउट करायचा आहे तर y डबल डॅशचा कोएफिशिएंट काय इथं x स्क्वेअर तो 0ला इक्वेट करायचा. सो वी गेट x equal to 0. नाउ x equal to 0 is a singular point of above equation, singular point of above equation. Now for regular singular point, this equation must be in the form of x square y double dash minus xy dash minus 3 by 4 into y equal to 0. But you can see that the coefficient of y dash is not equal to x. So we can't say that x equal to 0 is a regular singular point. Here in equation 1, coefficient of y dash is not equal to x. Therefore, x equal to 0 is not a regular singular point. Regular singular point. Suppose in second example, x minus 2 bracket square y double dash plus x minus 1 y dash plus 2y equal to 0. Now equate coefficient of y double dash equal to 0 x minus 2 bracket square equal to 0 which implies x equal to 2 is a singular point. Now you can see that x minus 2 bracket square x minus 1 into here x minus 1 raised to 0 into 2y means x minus 2 bracket square, here the coefficient of y double dash, x minus 1 raised to 1 is the coefficient of y dash. So sorry, x minus 2 so x equal to 2 is a regular singular point because condition of regular singular point satisfied by given equation. Now next point is the Euler equation. The Euler equation is a regular singular point at the origin is the Euler equation. L of y equal to x square y double dash plus a into x y dash plus b into y equal to 0. आता इथं रेग्युलर सिंगुलर पॉइंट ॲट दी ओरिजिन का म्हटलं आहे x minus 0. This equation can be written as x minus 0 bracket square y double dash plus a into x minus 0 into y dash plus b into y equal to 0 where a and b are constants. Means x equal to 0 is singular point as well as regular singular point because the coefficient of y dash is x minus 0, coefficient of y double dash is in the form of x minus 0 bracket square. So x equal to 0 is a regular singular point means this Euler equation has a regular singular point at the origin. We first consider this equation for x greater than 0. Now our job to find out the solution of the Euler equation. So first we consider equation 1 for x greater than 0. For x greater than 0. So and observe that the coefficient of y raised to k means k running from 1, 0, 1, 2. In L of y is a constant times x raised to k and observe that the coefficient of y raised to k in L of y is a constant times x raised to k. If r is any constant, x raised to r has the property that its kth derivative times x raised to k is a constant times x raised to r. For example, if we take x into x raised to r dash equal to put y equal to x raised to r, so x into x raised to r dash is nothing but dx into derivative of x raised to r with respect to x, r into x raised to r minus 1 equal to r as it is x into x raised to r minus 1 equal to r into x raised to r. X square x raised to r double dash equal to x square into r minus 1 x raised to r minus 2 equal to r into r minus 1 x raised to r, x square x raised to minus 2 get cancelled. So L of x raised to r, we have L of y equal to this equation. So L of x raised to r equal to x square x raised to r double dash plus a into x raised to r dash plus b into x raised to r, which is equal to, here this quantity and this quantity we have calculated. So we get x square x raised to r double dash is nothing but t r into r minus 1 x raised to r plus a x into x raised to r dash is nothing but the r into x raised to r plus b into x raised to r Now take x raised to r common, we get r into r minus 1 plus a into r plus b into x raised to r. Now here q of r equal to r into r minus 1 plus a into r plus b. So this equation becomes L of x raised to r equal to q of r x raised to r. Give as equation number 1. म्हणजेच आपण इथं थोडक्यात काय करतोय, आपल्याकडे ऑयलर इक्वेशन आहे. आता आपण फर्स्ट कन्सिडर केलं आहे एक्स ग्रेटर दॅन 0ला आपल्याला कोणकोणते सोल्युशन्स भेटणार. एक्स ग्रेटर दॅन 0 होता आणि आपण आर इज एनी कॉन्स्टंट घेतला, तेव्हा आपण काय फंक्शन घेतला, एक्स रेज टू आर हे याचं सोल्युशन आहे असं आपण अज्युम केलं. त्यानंतर आपण एल ऑफ एक्स रेज टू आर कॅल्क्युलेट केला, तेव्हा आपल्याला काय भेटलं आहे, क्यू ऑफ आर into x raised to r. Give as equation number 1. Now for q of r, if r1 is a root of q, if r1 is a root of q, then L of x raised to r1 equal to 0, because we say that r1 is a root of q, means q of r1 equal to 0. We have L of x raised to r equal to q of r into x raised to r. Here we say that r1 is a root of q, q of r1 equal to 0 means L of x raised to r1 equal to 0 into x raised to r1 equal to 0. So here we can write L of x raised to r1 equal to 0, which implies first solution phi 1 of x equal to x raised to r1, because r1 is a root of q. Phi 1 of x equal to x raised to r1 is a solution of this equation. Give as equation number 2, because we have already named that here equation 1. So is a solution of equation 2. For x greater than 0, if r2 is other root of q, if r2 is a other root of q, then we have phi 2 of x equal to x raised to r2. Now if here first condition is r1 and r2 are distinct, but if r1 equal to r2, in case r1 equal to r2 of q, we know that q of r1 equal to 0, q dash of r1 equal to 0, because q has a root with multiplicity 2, that's why q of r1 equal to 0 and q dash of r1 equal to 0. And this suggests just a minute, this suggests differentiating L of x r with respect to r, we get this is nothing but the polynomial, that's why here we take derivative inside. So L of dabba upon dabba r into x raised to r, we get x raised to r log x, because here we take derivative with respect to r, not with respect to x. So we differentiating this equation here, differentiating equation 2, which L of x raised to r equal to q of r x raised to r. Now take derivative on both sides, we get this equal to q dash of r x raised to r plus q of r x raised to r log x equal to q dash of r plus q of r log x into x raised to r. And if r equal to r1, because here r1 equal to r2, here we general take r. Now if r equal to r1, which implies L of x raised to r1 log x equal to 0. Because here we take r equal to r1, q of r1 equal to 0, q dash of r1 equal to 0. Put in this equation, we get L of x raised to r1 log x equal to q dash of r1 plus q of r1 into log x into x raised to r1. Here equal to 0 equal to 0. So L of x raised to r1 into log x equal to 0. Therefore, phi 2 of x equal to x raised to r1 log x, and for r1 equal to r2, phi 1 of x is nothing but the x raised to r1. Now phi 1 and phi 2 are linearly independent. Phi 1 and phi 2 are linearly independent for x greater than 0. How? If r1 is not equal to r2, we have c1 x raised to r1 plus c2 x raised to r2 equal to 0. Now c1 plus c2 can be write as c1 plus c2 x raised to r2 minus r1 when we divide x raised to r1 on both sides, because x is greater than 0. Now differentiating above equation, we get r2 minus r1 into x raised to r2 minus r1 minus 1 c2 as it is equal to 0, which implies c2 equal to 0. Now here c2 equal to 0 means automatically c1 equal to 0. So phi 1 and phi 2 are linearly independent when r1 is not equal to r2. When r1 is not equal to r2, we have phi 1 of x raised to r1, phi 2 of x raised to r2. And if in the case r1 equal to r2, we get phi 1 of x equal to x raised to r1, phi 2 of x equal to x raised to r1 log x. So c1 x raised to r1 plus c2 x raised to r1 log x equal to 0, which implies c1 plus c2 log x equal to 0, x is greater than 0, which implies, now differentiating on both sides, we get c2 upon x equal to 0, x is greater than 0, which implies c2 equal to 0. c2 equal to 0 means c1 equal to 0. So phi 1 and phi 2 are linearly independent for x greater than 0. Now we define x raised to r for r complex by x raised to r equal to e raised to r log x. Means when we get r in the form of complex, then we can take x raised to r equal to e raised to r log x. X is greater than 0. So x raised to r dash equal to e raised to r into log x dash is nothing but the e raised to r log x with respect to x r upon x. So e raised to r log x is nothing but the x raised to r r upon x equal to r into x raised to r minus 1. Now differentiating this equation with respect to r, we get e raised to r log x as it is into derivative of r log x is nothing but the log x. E raised to r log x is x raised to r log x. So derivative of x raised to r with respect to r is nothing but the x raised to r log x. Which are the formulas we used in the calculations? Now for x less than 0, this is nothing but for x greater than 0. Now for x less than 0, we get two functions phi 1 of x, phi 2 of x. First, for x greater than 0, consider minus x raised to r, because when x greater than 0 we consider x raised to r, and for x less than 0 we consider minus x raised to r, where r is constant, where r is constant, then we have for x less than 0 minus x raised to r dash equal to minus r into minus x raised to r minus 1 into derivative of minus x is minus 1, minus x raised to r double dash equal to minus r into r minus 1 minus x raised to r minus 2 into derivative of minus x minus 1 minus minus plus 1, and hence x into minus x raised to r dash equal to r into minus x raised to r, and x square minus x raised to r double dash equal to r into r minus 1 minus x raised to r. Thus, L of minus x raised to r equal to q of r minus x raised to r when x less than 0. ही प्रोसेस आपण x greater than 0 ला कशी येते ती बघितली आहे. So there is no need to any explanation for this. Now take derivative with respect to r. Minus x raised to r, we get minus x raised to r into log of minus x, x less than 0. Now if r1 is not equal to r2, we get two functions or two solutions. Phi 1 of x equal to minus x raised to r1, phi 2 of x equal to minus x raised to r2. And if r1 equal to r2, we get phi 1 of x equal to minus x raised to r1 and phi 2 of x equal to minus x raised to r1 log of minus x, x less than 0. These are just formulas for the solutions obtained for x greater than 0 with x replaced by minus x everywhere. Since mod x equal to x for x greater than 0 and mod x equal to minus x for x less than 0. We can write the solutions for any x is not equal to 0 in the following way. In case r1 is not equal to r2, we have phi 1 of x equal to mod x raised to r1 and phi 2 of x equal to mod x raised to r2, where x is not equal to 0. And if r1 equal to r2, we have two solutions. Phi 1 of x equal to mod x raised to r1, phi 2 of x equal to mod x raised to r1 log of mod x, x is not equal to 0. So, the theorem for this, just a minute, theorem star, generalize of this theory we have just learned. Theorem, consider the second order Euler equation x square y double dash plus ax y dash plus by equal to 0 where a, b are constants and the polynomial q given by q of r equal to r into r minus 1 plus a into r plus b. A basis for the solutions of the Euler equation on any interval not containing x equal to 0 is given by phi 1 of x equal to mod x raised to r1, phi 2 of x equal to mod x raised to r2 in case r1, r2 are distinct roots of q, and by phi 1 of x equal to mod x raised to r1, phi 2 of x equal to mod x raised to r1 into log of mod x if r1 is a root of q of multiplicity 2. Means when r1 and r2 are distinct roots, then phi 1 of x equal to mod x raised to r1, phi 2 of x equal to mod x raised to r2. And if r1 is a root of q of multiplicity 2, then phi 1 of x equal to mod x raised to r1, phi 2 of x equal to mod x raised to r1 into log of mod x. Now For example, consider the equation x square y double dash plus xy dash plus y equal to 0. Then q of r equal to r into r minus 1 plus r plus 1 equal to 0. Because here q of r, when equation in the form of x square y double dash plus a into xy dash plus by equal to 0, q of r equal to r into r minus 1 plus ar plus b. Here a and b are nothing but the 1. So q of r equal to r into r minus 1 plus r plus 1 equal to 0. Now find out the roots of q of r. This q of r equate to 0, we get r into r minus 1 r square minus r plus 1 equal to 0, minus r plus r get cancel, r square plus 1 equal to 0, which implies r square equal to minus 1 implies r equal to plus minus r, means we get here r1 equal to r, r2 equal to minus r. Here r1 equal to I, r2 equal to minus I, we get two distinct roots. When r1 is not equal to r2, then phi 1 of x equal to mod x raised to r1 and phi 2 of x equal to mod x raised to r2. So here we get phi 1 of x equal to mod x raised to r1 means I, phi 2 of x equal to mod x raised to r2 means minus I, x is not equal to 0. Now we have already seen that if r is in the complex, then x raised to r is in the form of e raised to r log x. So here we have mod x raised to I, mod x raised to minus I, means r is in the form of complex. So mod x raised to I equal to e raised to I log of mod x. And we know that e raised to ix equal to cos x plus I sin x. So e raised to I log mod x means cos of log of mod x plus I sin of log of mod x. Cos of log of mod x plus I sin of log of mod x. So here we get two functions, psi 1 of x equal to cos of log of mod x and psi 2 of x equal to sin of log of mod x. So the extensions of the result of theorem star. Theorem star is nothing but this. Okay. So the extension of the result of theorem star to the Euler equation of the nth order means L of y equal to x raised to r, x raised to n, y raised to n plus a1, x raised to n minus 1, y raised to n minus 1 plus and so on plus a and y equal to 0 give as equation number 1, where a1 and so on a n are constants. Here you can see that a1 and so on a n are constant and they are not a variable constants. We have for any constant r, we get x raised to k into mod x raised to r raised to k. Here k means k derivative and here k means constant. So equal to r into r minus 1 and so on r minus into x minus 1 mod x raised to r. Because here x raised to k as it is and derivative of mod x raised to r k times is nothing but the r into r minus 1 and so on r minus of k minus 1. So after simplifying this we get this, and hence L of mod x raised to r equal to q of r mod x raised to r give as equation number 2, where q is now the polynomial of degree n. So q of r equal to, here we take y equal to mod x raised to r, mod x raised to r nth derivative, find out n minus 1 derivative of mod x raised to r up to first derivative. And after simplifying this we get q of r is in the form of r into r minus 1 and so on r minus of n minus 1 plus a1 into r minus 1 and so on r minus of n minus 2 plus and so on plus n. This polynomial is called the indicial polynomial for the Euler equation 1. Differentiating equation 2 k times with respect to r, we obtain kth derivative of this is nothing but t. This is the polynomial. L of y is the polynomial. Replace y equal to mod x raised to r. So we can take derivative inside. So L of dabba raised to k upon dabba r raised to k mod x raised to r equal to, now derivative of mod x raised to r with respect to r k times is nothing but the mod x raised to r log raised to k of mod x. And now differentiating to this side with respect to k, we know that formula of fg raised to k equal to fk g raised to 0 means zeroth derivative. Zeroth derivative of this function is nothing but the g plus kc1 fk minus 1 g plus kc2 fk minus 2g square plus and so on plus kck f raised to k minus k g raised to k, here kc 0. Okay, now here kth derivative. So applying this formula to this, so we get qk of r plus k into q raised to k minus of r log into mod x plus k into k minus 1 upon 2 factorial q raised to k minus 2 of r log square of mod x plus and so on plus q of r log raised to k mod x into mod x raised to r, give as equation number 3. If r1 is a root of q of multiplicity m1, then q of r1 equal to 0, q dash of r1 equal to 0 and so on q raised to m1 minus 1 of r1 equal to 0 by the theorem. And we see from 3 that mod x raised to r1, mod x raised to r1 log of mod x and so on mod x raised to r1 log raised to m1 minus 1 mod x are solutions of L of y equal to 0 when r1 is a root of q of multiplicity m1. Repeating this process for each root of q, we obtain the following result. Let r1 and so on rn be the distinct root of the initial polynomial q for equation 1. Which equation 1? This equation 1. Euler equation of the nth order. And suppose r1 has multiplicity mi, then the n functions mod x raised to r1, mod x raised to r1 log mod x and so on mod x raised to r1 log raised to m1 minus 1 mod x. Mod x raised to r2, mod x raised to r2 log of mod x and so on mod x raised to r2 log raised to m2 minus 1 mod x and so on mod x raised to rs, mod x raised to rs log of mod x and so on mod x raised to rs log raised to ms minus 1 mod x form a basis for the solutions of the nth order Euler equation 1 on any interval not containing x equal to 0. मीन्स हा थेरम जनरलाइज केलेला आहे. जर तुम्हाला r1 हा रूट भेटेल ज्याची मल्टिप्लिसिटी mi असेल तेव्हा तुम्ही सोल्यूशन कोणत्या फॉर्ममध्ये राईट करू शकता, तर ह्या फॉर्ममध्ये राईट करू शकता. सपोज माझा r1 रूट आहे आणि मल्टिप्लिसिटी 2 आहे, तर मी कुठपर्यंत राईट करणार माझे सोल्युशन्स mod x raised to r1 mod x raised to r1 log of mod x. आणि जर माझी मल्टिप्लिसिटी 3 आहे r1ची, तर मी सोल्युशन कुठपर्यंत राईट करणार mod x raised to r1 mod x raised to r1 log of mod x raised to r1 log square mod x इथपर्यंत. So now here we stop. In the next video we will see the examples on the initial polynomial Euler equation. For Euler equation, how to find the initial polynomial, how to find the solutions, we will see in the next video. Now here we stop.